Let's take a look at the punt block that Ohio State pulled off against Michigan yesterday, and an extremely well executed block that was drawn up by Ohio State, and I guess via the TV, Greg Schiano had a lot to do with that. But let's take a look at the punt formation by Michigan. Now, Michigan is in more of a traditional punt formation here. And before you're too critical about that, I know there are a lot of coaches that say that you shouldn't get in this formation in college because of the ability to release and cover and different things like that. But I think that the other thing to consider is that when you get into a shield formation, you typically have three big bodies back here that are not great cover guys. And when you're punting to Ohio State, you're normally punting to one of the best athletes in the country. So that probably came into this punt formation, and maybe that's what they do all the time. But you've got two wide outside here. Now they're off the ball, which typically in a spread punt formation, the end guys here would be off of the ball. Slots would be off. And whenever you move them up on the ball, typically you think that the point of pressure is going to be off of the edge. And that may have been what got Michigan into trouble to some degree. But let's take a look at how they executed this punt block. The first thing that they did was the people in red here are in 2-point stances, and they were moving around a little bit. And 17, also the ultimate guy who blocked the punt, was in a 2-point stance. So over here to the left, pretty simple. All you're doing is you're getting the slot, the tackle, the guard, and the personal protector expanded out to this side. Now, the person that did the best job, in our opinion, to help with this block was number 47 right here, because you got the slot out here wide once again, and 47, who appeared to be who this tackle would block, started up the field one step but came underneath, rendering this tackle right here really useless. So the guard had to pick him up. The snapper picked up the next inside guy. 17 did a great job of being on the line of scrimmage and coming right off of the rear of 47 and the A-gap rusher right here and taking the ball right off the foot of the punter. So a very, very well executed punt block that was a big game changer. It's hard to find any play in any game when you have a punt block that's bigger than that as far as a momentum changer. So just really the only other thing to look at here is the way to prevent it if you're in spread punt formation is you must give ground. This tackle's got to give ground. This guard's got to give ground. And even the snapper have to give ground. And you have to block who they become. In other words, this tackle would block 47, and the guard would block the next guy inside, which would be this A-gap rusher. And your snapper would have to set back with depth and pick up 17 and get at least a piece of him where you wouldn't have a block punt.